Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is the Debrief show. So, basically, like a morning after, once the dust has settled, going to talk about the game. And I have got some news for you as well once I finish talking about the game that you're going to want to hear. It's a bit of a call to action for West Ham fans and other West Ham channels as well. So, before we go anywhere else, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe because it does really help us. And as I always say, please, please, please drop a like on the video. That tells YouTube to share the video around. It's the one thing that you can really do for us. It does really help the channel. And leave your comments in the description, particularly on the topic at the end of this video as well. So I'm going to whiz through it as quickly as I can. So first of all, my match reaction. Look, I'm not going to apologise for overreacting. Did I overreact? Possibly overreacted. I'm a passionate guy. I was very frustrated. It was purely because we ended up with... I'm not going to refer to him as Jedwood at the moment because that's it's almost affectionate. I've got no affection towards that pairing. I haven't. It's not an attack on either player individually, but the pair of them in the middle is an absolute disaster class. It is. It always is, and it always results in the same thing. So why Lopetegui saw fit to make the changes that he did at that time and introduce those two in the middle of the park, with the body of proof that we've got, that doesn't work. You know, he's got it as well in pre-season. And as I said yesterday, he will have reviewed last year and got data. They've got data analysts there as well. So I really don't understand it. I know that some people are saying, look, there were changes. There was a change. We wasn't playing a low block, but the formation was the same. We was playing a bit higher, but we was doing nothing. We was kind of retaining the ball in safe areas where Villa was happy for us to retain the ball, and our route forward was long ball. More often than not, we was playing a long ball game. It was awful. Loads of individuals did not turn up. Paqueta didn't have a good game. Bowen didn't have a good game. Although Bowen was having to cover for Soufal. He spent most of the game at right back. You know, the right change there would have been to have brought Aaron Wan-Bissaka on, so that releases Bowen, and it takes that kind of defensive worry that Bowen obviously had, or burden. He could have got further up the pitch and he could have done what he does best, be a goal threat, but he didn't do that. Kudus was wonderful, as he always is, although he was restrained out on the left-hand side. This is a guy that scores goals for fun when he can chop inside and get on his strongest foot. If you just put him out on the left-hand side, you restrict him what he can actually produce. He still played well and done his best. He always does. He had Matty Cash on toast a few times, but it was all quite fruitless. I was very frustrated, very frustrated. I still am. I've got serious concerns now that a lot of what I thought was going to happen isn't going to happen. Now that could all be quashed next weekend. Lopetegui and Tim Stein and the analyst team could sit down and basically say, right, now is the time. We've got to get these new players in. We have to. We've got to change it. We had no pace in midfield whatsoever. Rodriguez is a decent player, but there's no pace there. There's none. So when you've got him, Paqueta, and Thomas Soucek in the middle, there's just nothing there. That Onana and the rest of those guys just completely ploughed through our midfield at will. They did. Even more so after Lopetegui made those changes and put, I'm going to call it, Jedwood in midfield. We just played straight into their hands. So I'm not going to apologise for overreacting because it was very poor. It was poor from Lopetegui. The lineup was poor. The in-game management was poor. I didn't like the theatrics afterwards of him kicking a bottle and looking really fierce and angry. I'm getting quite bored with that now. I like the fact that he's a serious manager, but, he made mistakes there. Although there were players that didn't turn up, neither did he. He didn't turn up. That was wrong. You had two managers there. One manager made changes that won their team the game, and the other one didn't. It had the opposite effect. So that really frustrated me, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that it's going to be rectified. Of course, Lopetegui gets time. Of course, this is just the first game of the season. You can't get too carried away, but you can take things from it. You can. The one big thing for me, as you know, I've got this thing with Thomas Soucek, and I've still got people telling me that he had a good game. Leave me alone. He had a good game. He lived on the edge of the 18-yard box. He fell over someone and got a penalty that we shouldn't have had awarded, and then he missed a couple of open goals. That was the limitation of what Thomas Souček did. He did nothing else. Nothing. So why people are saying that he had a good game, I don't get. How can your bar be so low? Honestly. And you've got him sitting on the edge of the 18-yard box in the 10 for 90% of the game, with Lucas Paqueta having him there and Rodriguez trying to sort of hold the baby. It was pathetic. They was left high and dry. You know, Kilman and Mavropanos actually looked quite decent. They looked decent. I thought Emerson had a good game. Soufal was just he's a tragic defensive right back. He is. And why he seems to have more license to get forward up that right-hand side than Emerson had license to get up on east side, because it was always Soufal getting up and leaving massive gaps behind, whereas Emerson seemed to be doing more of a defensive job. You do the maths, you know. Emerson's a more capable, forward-thinking player. So I didn't get that. I didn't get Kudus being played out of position. I didn't get the subs. Antonio was awful as well. You know, he was particularly poor. But then to bring Fulkrug and Danny Ings on and take all those players, I'm going to try not to get wound up again. What I'm saying is it was awful. I'm in a lot less ragey fashion. I'm backing up everything that I said on that review yesterday. Yes, it is too soon to go sort of pulling the trigger or anything like that, making massive judgments. But you can see signs. I didn't like the fact that Souček got given that armband when Bowen went off. That's a sign. What, is he the vice captain now? You know, the guy played 90 minutes again. What did he do to warrant getting 90 minutes with all the other players that were being hooked off? It's so frustrating. It really is. You know, there's some of the rumours out there that I've always pushed back on about how, because Kretinsky's part owner is Soufal and Souček, you know, they have to play. You always push back on that crap and go, no, it can't be that. But I don't know, because it can't be football ability. It can't be anything else. We've got far superior players. And the bench as well. The bench really confused me. Luigi brought it to my attention yesterday. Guilherme wasn't even on the bench. He weren't even on the bench. We had Danny Ings and Fulkrug, a team that play one striker up front. We were only ever going to play one striker up front, although we had Ings and Fulkrug towards the end. But why was Guilherme not there? Why was he not on the bench? You know, 25 million starlet, loads of pace, tons of pace. Someone that can come on and sort of impact the game. I thought Somerville looked really good when he come on. I might have already mentioned that. He did. He did look good. He looked lively. We've got a natural left-sided player. You know, that was good. That's what we need to see. But I'm fed up seeing our best player in Mohamed Kudus shoehorned out on the left-hand side. That can't happen anymore. You've got to build your team around your best player. You know, you've got to. And the only reason he was out there is because Thomas Souček has to hold that position in midfield. Thomas Souček was occupying Kudus's position. You know, it can't really be allowed to go on. So I'm hoping that it's going to get corrected on Saturday. I haven't got as much faith now as what I did before the game. I was telling everyone in the lead up to this game that Lopetegui's got a plan. We're going to see a completely different 11. It's going to be, you know, not going to be great, but he was going to throw a curveball, maybe, at Emery, you know, because he had the element of surprise. But he didn't take that opportunity. He didn't. He kind of played into Emery's hands, I thought, and Villa were very sloppy with their finishing. We couldn't have complained if we got beat 4-5-1. That was the upshot of that game. Right, there is something else that I do want to correct, which was a video that I did last week, and that was on the rumours that Kudus is going to be leaving us. It's not. I'm not going to correct myself on the rumours, because the rumours are the rumours. You know and as I've already said, as we saw yesterday, he was probably the best player on the pitch. Teams are gonna be interested in Kudus, of course they are. But my opinion around that was wrong, and I can see that now. We can't lose Kudus, not this season, especially while we're in transition. It would be suicidal, I think, to let Kudus go. He's far and away our best player. He's so hungry as well. His work rate is unbelievable. So I was talking absolute shit, I'll be honest, in that review in terms of my assessment of what it would mean to West Ham if he did move on. No. Kudus has to stay. He has to stay. So if you want to sort of make your feelings known about that in the comments, do it again, you know. On the threat of Kudus being sold, let me know what your thoughts are on that, because I just don't think that can happen. So yeah, there's a lot of improvements that we can make. We've still got a lot to be excited about, you know, because that was the old guard that we watched play. So you've got to kind of cling to the hope that things are going to change. I'd like it now, but hopefully gradually, and then over the next sort of 5 or 6 games, maybe this new starting lineup will start to take shape. Hopefully it will. The final thing that I wanted to talk about was the Duran deal. Now, look, I never profess to be an ITK. I don't. I'm an SITK. I'm sometimes in the know. I know people that know certain things, and this Duran deal, we was ahead of the curve on this channel, way ahead of the curve of everyone else. When Romano was reporting that Duran was going to Chelsea, I came out and said, no, he's not. He's going to be coming to West Ham. And we've been ahead of the curve on this one the entire way through. And there's a reason for that. The person I talked to, very closely connected in the deal in talking with Duran. So I've had a conversation this morning with that person as well. And I thought that ship would have sailed. Apparently it has not. Emery would still be interested in selling that player because Watkins, he came off on 60 minutes, didn't have the best part of that first part of that game, but he hasn't really had a pre-season. Duran is still going to be the same player. He will look at him. He needs to be starting. He's not a backup player. So they're still going to have that problem. They're still conscious of that. Even though they've got more games this year, they've got Champions League. Because of the issues that there's already been, if we paid the money, Aston Villa would sell. They would sell. And from what I've been told, the player has been offered again. Well, the offer is it's like an open-ended offer. Villa have basically said, pay us this money, which now is 40 million. So West Ham know this. And the guy that I spoke to this morning has basically said that deal is still there to be taken, but it's got to be taken now. But the player will not speak to West Ham anymore until a bid is submitted and agreed by Aston Villa. So it's got to be done the right way this time. The player got himself in trouble last time. Lopetegui and Tim were tapping him up. He was getting convicted. That's why I ended up doing the crossed hammers thing. He's got him in all sorts of shit with Villa, as in the football club, with the fan base. He had to take his social media stuff down. So he was kind of led astray. He ain't going to make the same mistake again. The only way that we are going to get that deal done is if we pay Villa what they want and what that player is absolutely worth. 40 million. We paid 40 million for Max Kilman. We paid 25 million for a 31-year-old that's going to be here till he's 36. And I'm going to talk about Fulkrug another time. But that was the reason why I was so taken back when we switched our attention from that player, Duran, to Fulkrug. You saw it yesterday. There is no comparison. There's none. So this deal is still there to be done. So what I am begging that all the other channels do, and also West Ham fans, put some pressure on this club. This player does want to come to West Ham. He absolutely wants to come. It's still there to be done. We've just got to cough up and pay the money. There is no bargain to be had, West Ham. In fact, well, there is. I think 40 million is a bargain for Duran. We're not overpaying for that player. We've overpaid for several others, but we're not overpaying for him. We've just got to get the job done. If he wasn't a problem for Aston Villa, they would not sell because he's a talented player. So, yes, let everyone know in the comments, on your other social medias, on your other channels. I promise you, I'm not bullshitting. I've been told that deal is still there to be done. Aston Villa will still not listen. They'll accept the offer and they'll move on. But the player needs it done properly this time. We've got to get the money just paid. Get it done. Get it done. So look, that is it from me. I hope you enjoyed the debrief. And yes, start harping on. We want Duran. I want Duran. Let's all make it happen together. Put some pressure on that ball. They're fucked up. They have. By not getting that player done early, they're messed up. We could have got that player for 30 million, 35 million at the start of this window when Aston Villa did need to recoup some money. They did. And then what we did was we went floating around Brazil, chasing Bruno, chasing Wesley. We landed on Guilherme, who ain't even on our fucking bench. A good player for the future, but we got our priorities all wrong. We should have got that player in first. We should have got it done. How long have we been wanting a striker like that? So they've got to rectify their mistake. It's going to cost us 10 million more. Boo-hoo. Please get it done. It's just going to help us go on and have a fantastic season. And it is absolutely the type of player that Lopetegui needs. It is. So there's got to be the reason why he was a primary target, right? So look, that's it from me. We will be back later on. Well, it's not it from me, actually. We'll be back later on for the Booze Up show. The phone-ins will be back. So if you want to have your say, you'll be able to have your say later on. Also, we have got a a little announcement for you. This is the first of many. So we've changed our membership platform now. So basically, when you become a member of Claret and Booze on our platform, you're joining the terraces. Come and join us on the terraces. That is what the platform is now called. It's entirely West Ham centric, you know, all of that. The support stuff that we offer is completely separate to this. So yes, come and join us on the terraces. If you pop into Google, claretandbooze.uk, or scan that QR code, you'll get a link to come and join us, have a chat. We did a post about chat room yesterday. We're going to do that after every game. So the minute a game finishes, or 10 minutes after a game finishes, a room will be opened up where you can all jump on the screen and have your say there and then on that game. It's really good. There's loads of stuff coming on there. There is exclusive content on there as well. And there are some other announcements coming soon. So that is the first of many. So yes, come and join Claret and Booze on the terraces. Speak to you all soon. Come on, you ones.